My girlfriend posted, "Real men don't get jealous when their woman has male friends." After I questioned why she was texting another guy at 2 a.m., I commented, "You're absolutely right." Then I updated my profile pic with her best friend. The hypocrisy revealed itself in 43 minutes. I, 26 male, have been with my girlfriend for about 2 years. We moved in together 8 months ago, splitting rent on a decent apartment. Things were good, or at least I thought they were, until about 3 weeks ago when I started noticing some patterns. She'd gotten close to this guy from her yoga class over the past few months. "Just a friend," she said. "They grabbed smoothies after class sometimes." Cool, whatever. I'm not the jealous type, and I trust my partner to have friends of any gender. That's basic adult relationship stuff. But then the texting started getting weird. Not just casual messages here and there, constant notifications. Phone always face down, stepping out to take calls from him, giggling at her screen and then going quiet when I walked into the room. 3 weeks ago, I woke up around 2 a.m. because the blue light from her phone was literally illuminating our bedroom. She was texting at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. "Who are you texting at 2 in the morning?" I asked, still half asleep. She practically threw her phone under her pillow. "Just my friend from yoga. He's going through some stuff." At 2 a.m.? Time zones exist. He has family overseas dealing with drama. That didn't make sense, but I was tired, so I let it go. Then it happened again 3 nights later. Same thing. 2 a.m., texting under the covers, thinking I was asleep. I finally asked her directly the next morning. "Hey, I've noticed you're texting this guy really late at night a lot. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Can we talk about it?" She went from 0 to defensive in about 2 seconds. "Oh my God, are you serious right now? He's just a friend. You're being so insecure. This is exactly what's wrong with men. You can't handle your girlfriend having male friends without getting all jealous and possessive." I'm not saying you can't have male friends. I'm saying 2 a.m. texting sessions are a bit weird. "Whatever, I'm not having this conversation. You either trust me or you don't." She stormed off to work. I figured we'd cool down and talk about it later like adults. Instead, I opened Instagram that afternoon to see she'd posted one of those quote graphics, black background, white text. "Real men don't get jealous when their woman has male friends. Insecurity is so unattractive. Know your worth, ladies." The comments were rolling in. Her sister commented, "Preach." Her co-worker added, "Some men just can't handle confident women." Her best friend wrote, "This is why I'm single, can't deal with fragile egos." She'd subtweeted me to our entire social circle without ever actually addressing my concerns like an adult. I stared at that post for a good 5 minutes. The humiliation was real. People we knew, people I worked with, all seeing this and knowing it was about me. Making me look like some controlling freak because I asked a reasonable question about 2 a.m. texting. Then something clicked. She wanted to play the secure partner card? Fine. Let's see how secure she was. I commented on her post. "You're absolutely right. I apologize for being insecure. Real partners trust each other completely." She liked my comment. Probably thought she'd won. Then I did something petty. Her best friend, the one who commented about fragile egos, had been in a bunch of photos from their girls' trip last summer. One photo in particular showed us all at a bar, and her best friend had her arm around me in a group shot, both of us laughing at something. I cropped it to just the two of us and made it my profile picture. No caption, no explanation, just the two of us, looking friendly, as my new profile pic. Then I sat back and waited. It took exactly 43 minutes. My phone started blowing up. First a text from my girlfriend. "What the hell is that profile picture?" Then, "Why is she in your profile pic?" Then, "Are you trying to make me jealous? That's so immature." Then, "Take that down right now." I replied with one message. "She's just a friend. Real partners don't get jealous, remember? I thought insecurity was unattractive." Radio silence for about 10 minutes. Then my phone rang. She was calling me, which she basically never does. She's a texter. "This isn't funny," she said the second I answered. "What's not funny?" "That picture. Why would you put that as your profile pic?" "It's just a photo with a friend. You know, like how you have photos with your yoga friend? I figured since we established that secure partners don't get jealous over friendships, this wouldn't be a problem." "That's completely different." "How?" Long pause. Because she's my best friend. And he's your yoga friend. What's the difference? A friend is a friend, right? You're doing this to make a point, and it's pathetic. I'm doing exactly what you said secure partners do. I'm having a friendship without my partner getting jealous. Isn't that what you wanted? She hung up on me. When she got home that evening, the energy was ice cold. She walked in, threw her purse on the counter, and crossed her arms. "Take it down." "Why?" "Because it's disrespectful to me. More disrespectful than posting a public rant about your boyfriend being insecure without ever actually talking to him about the issue. That's not the same thing. Explain to me how it's different. Use your words." She couldn't. She just stood there, sputtering about how I was twisting things and being manipulative. "Here's what I think," I said calmly. "I think you wanted to have your cake and eat it too. You wanted the freedom to text whoever you want at any hour without questions, while also having a boyfriend who doesn't do anything that might make you feel jealous. That's called a double standard." "I don't have a double standard." "Then why does my profile picture bother you? She's just a friend. I'm not hiding anything. The photo is completely innocent." "If you trust me, there's no problem." She went to the bedroom and slammed the door. I slept on the couch that night. The next morning, she'd rallied reinforcements. Update 1, 3 days later. So things escalated pretty quickly after my last post. My girlfriend decided to involve literally everyone in our lives instead of, having an adult conversation. The morning after our fight, I woke up to texts from her sister, her mom, and 2 of her friends. All variations of the same theme. "What you did was cruel. You're being emotionally abusive. She's devastated. Real men don't play games." Her sister's text was the longest. "I can't believe you would deliberately try to hurt her like this. She trusted you, and you're using her best friend to make her jealous. That's sociopathic behavior. You need to apologize and take that picture down immediately." I responded to her sister. "Did she tell you why I posted it? Did she mention her public post calling me insecure for asking about 2 a.m. texting? Or the 3 weeks of late-night conversations with another guy she refused to discuss?" Her sister. "That's none of my business." Me. "But my profile picture is your business?" She left me on red. Her mom actually called me. This woman has been nothing but sweet to me for 2 years. Sunday dinners, birthday gifts, treating me like family. Now, she was on the phone telling me I'd really disappointed her. "I thought you were one of the good ones," she said. "But posting pictures with other women to hurt my daughter? That's not who I thought you were." "Ma'am, with all respect, did she tell you she publicly humiliated me online before any of this happened?" Silence. Then, "She mentioned something about a post, but she said you were being controlling about her friendships." I asked her why she was texting someone at 2 a.m. repeatedly. That's the full extent of my controlling behavior. Her response was to blast me on social media to all our friends and family without talking to me first. The profile picture was just me demonstrating what she claimed was acceptable behavior. More silence. I'll talk to her." "Please do." But the best part? Her best friend, the one in my profile picture, reached out to me directly. This is where things got interesting. She texted me, "Hey, so I just want to say, I'm not mad about the picture thing. Actually, I thought it was kind of hilarious." She called me crying about it, and I had to bite my tongue so hard. Me. "Wait, really?" Her. "Dude, she's been texting that yoga guy like crazy for months. All of us have noticed. She literally showed us their conversations at brunch last week, and they were not just friendly. I didn't say anything because I didn't want drama, but honestly, she had this coming. Me. What do you mean not just friendly? Her. Like lots of flirty stuff. Pet names. Plans to meet up without you knowing. She told us she was keeping her options open in case things with you didn't work out. I felt sick reading that. Literally nauseous. Me. Do you have screenshots? Her. No, she just showed us her phone at brunch, but I can tell you what I remember if that helps. She proceeded to tell me things that made my stomach turn. Apparently, my girlfriend had been calling me boring and too comfortable to her friends for months. She'd been testing the waters with this yoga guy to see if something better was available. Her best friend had actually told her it was wrong, and she should either break up with me or cut off the other guy. My girlfriend apparently said, "Why should I have to choose?" When I confronted my girlfriend with this information that evening, she immediately turned on her best friend. "She's a liar! She's always been jealous of our relationship. She's trying to break us up." Why would she lie about this? Because she probably wants you for herself. That's probably why she's okay with being in your profile picture. She's been after you this whole time. That's quite a conspiracy theory. Last week she was your best friend commenting on your post about insecure men. Now she's a lying homewrecker? People show their true colors. Yeah, they do. She tried a different approach then, softened her voice, came closer, put her hand on my arm. "Baby, please, this is getting out of control. Can't we just start over? I'll delete my post, you delete your picture, we forget any of this happened? And you'll stop texting the yoga guy at 2 a.m. Long pause. He's just a friend. I shouldn't have to give up friendships for you. Then I shouldn't have to give up mine. The picture stays. She lost it, started screaming about how I was punishing her and being vindictive and not fighting for the relationship. Said if I really loved her, I'd just trust her and move on. I did trust you. Then you publicly humiliated me instead of talking to me. Trust is earned, and you just spent yours. She packed a bag and went to stay at her sister's place. Fine by me. I actually slept well for the first time in weeks that night. The next few days were a mix of relief and chaos. On one hand, I had the apartment to myself and could actually relax without monitoring her mood or worrying about what I'd done wrong this time. On the other hand, my phone was a war zone of incoming messages from people who'd only heard her version of events. Her aunt sent me a text calling me emotionally stunted. A guy I'd met once at one of her work functions sent me a DM saying, "Real men communicate. They don't play games." Apparently, her narrative had spread far and wide, and nobody was interested in asking me for my perspective. I stopped responding to most of them. What was the point? They'd already made up their minds. Update 2, 1 week later. My girlfriend has been at her sister's for a week now, and in that time, she's managed to make herself the victim of a situation she created. It's almost impressive. First, she started telling everyone that I kicked her out. I didn't. She chose to leave. But apparently in the retelling, I made her feel so unsafe and unloved that she had no choice. I found out about this narrative when my own brother called me asking what was going on because his girlfriend heard from someone at work that I was abusive. That was a fun conversation to have. No, I didn't kick her out. No, I'm not abusive. Yes, all of this is about a profile picture that I posted after she publicly embarrassed me online. My brother, thankfully, is not an idiot. Wait, she posted about you being insecure and you just responded in kind, and now you're the bad guy? Apparently. That's insane. Welcome to my life. Meanwhile, her flying monkeys kept coming. Her coworker sent me a Facebook message. We're not even friends on there. She went looking for me. Calling me a gaslighter and saying I was exactly the type of man women warn each other about. I didn't respond. What's the point? Then came the mutual friends. People started choosing sides. A couple we'd hung out with regularly had the husband call me to say they couldn't be in the middle of this, but that his wife was supporting my girlfriend through this difficult time, and he hoped I got the help I needed. The help I needed for posting a profile picture. But here's where things got truly wild. Remember her yoga friend? The 2 a.m. texter? He decided to get involved. I got a DM on Instagram from him. First time he'd ever contacted me directly. The message read, "Hey man, I just wanted to reach out and clear the air. There's nothing going on between me and your girl. She told me you've been really possessive and controlling, and honestly, I feel bad for her. Maybe you should work on your insecurity issues instead of making her life harder." I read that message 3 times to make sure I was understanding it correctly. This guy, the one texting my girlfriend at 2 a.m., the one she'd been hiding conversations with, the one she was apparently making plans with behind my back, was lecturing me about being controlling. The audacity was breathtaking. I replied, "Thanks for the input. Quick question. Do you regularly text women in relationships at 2 a.m. about their family's time zone issues? Because that was the excuse she gave me." Him, "I don't know what she told you, but we're just friends." Me, "Cool. Then you won't mind if I share this conversation with your own girlfriend? I noticed from your profile you're in a relationship. I'm sure she'd love to know about your close friendship with my girlfriend and all those late-night heart-to-hearts." Suddenly he wasn't so chatty, left me on red. I did some light Instagram stalking, don't judge, and found his girlfriend's profile. She seemed nice. Lots of photos of them looking happy together. And I thought about it. This girl probably had no idea her boyfriend was texting other women at 2 a.m. and making plans to hang out secretly. So I sent her a message. Not to be vindictive, but because I remembered what it felt like to be in the dark, feeling crazy for asking reasonable questions. My message was simple. "Hey, I'm sorry to reach out like this, but I thought you should know. Your boyfriend has been texting my girlfriend late at night for months, and they've been making plans to meet up without either of us knowing. I don't have proof beyond what I've witnessed and what my girlfriend's friends have told me, but I wanted you to have the information. Do with it what you will." She responded within an hour. "Thank you for telling me. I've had my suspicions for a while. He's been really protective of his phone lately." 2 days later, I noticed his Instagram went private. Then I heard through the grapevine that he was suddenly taking a break from yoga. Karma works in mysterious ways. My girlfriend's reaction to this development was interesting. She called me to yell about meddling and ruining an innocent person's life. But when I pointed out that I'd simply told the truth, she pivoted to, "You did this to hurt me, not to help her." Maybe that was partially true. But also, his girlfriend deserved to know. Just like I deserve to know. The information people deserve doesn't become less valid because of why it's given. Her sister called me that same week to tell me I was toxic and that their whole family was praying for my girlfriend's recovery from the emotional abuse. I asked her to define what abuse I'd committed. She said, "Making her feel bad about herself." I asked if publicly posting about how your partner is insecure and unattractive might also make someone feel bad about themselves. She said that was different and hung up. The double standards ran deep in that family, apparently. Final update, 2 weeks later. All right, time to wrap this up because the situation has reached its natural conclusion and I'm ready to move on. After the yoga guy's girlfriend confronted him, things got messy for him fast. Turns out, my girlfriend wasn't the only woman he'd been cultivating a friendship with. There were at least 2 others that his girlfriend found out about. She dumped him publicly, posting something on Instagram about finally seeing someone's true colors without naming him directly. But everyone knew. My girlfriend, predictably, blamed me for this. Called me screaming the day after it went down. "You ruined his relationship." No, he ruined his relationship by texting multiple women behind his girlfriend's back. I just passed along information. You had no right to contact her. Funny, I thought we established that friends can have innocent friendships and jealous partners need to deal with it? Or does that only apply when it benefits you? She hung up. Again. That was becoming her signature move. Drop a bomb, get challenged on it, and disconnect before having to actually defend her position. 2 days later, I got a string of texts from her around midnight. Classic late-night emotional spiral stuff. I can't believe you did this to me. You destroyed 2 relationships because of your ego. I hope you're happy now. You never deserved me. I didn't respond to any of them. What would be the point? She wasn't looking for a conversation. She was looking for a punching bag. I'd already spent too much of this relationship being her emotional outlet. Her next move was to try to make me look bad to our landlord. I got a call from the building management saying they'd received a complaint about noise disturbances from our unit, which was wild because I'd been living alone and basically silent for the past 2 weeks. I explained the situation, that my girlfriend had moved out temporarily and there had been no disturbances. The manager said she'd noted it down, but unless there was more evidence, nothing would happen. A week later, I came home to find some of my stuff moved around in the apartment. Nothing major, just a book on a different shelf, a jacket hung somewhere I hadn't left it. She'd used her key to come in while I was at work. I changed the locks that night. Cost me $175, but peace of mind is priceless. She texted me, "Why won't my key work?" "Because I changed the locks." "You can't do that. I still live there. My name is on the lease." "Your name isn't on the lease. I added you to the apartment informally because we were dating. If you want to discuss the legal situation, feel free to contact a lawyer." She threatened to call the cops and say I was illegally locking her out. I told her to go ahead. I had the lease documents showing I was the sole tenant, and she'd voluntarily left 2 weeks ago. She didn't call the cops. Instead, she sent her dad. Now, her dad is a big guy, intimidating. He showed up at my door on a Saturday morning, and I genuinely thought for a second I was about to get punched. "We need to talk," he said. I let him in. He sat on my couch, looking uncomfortable. "Look," he started, "I don't know the whole story here. What I know is my daughter's been crying for 2 weeks, and everyone's pointing fingers at everyone. But I also know she's not exactly innocent. Her mother and I raised her better than this." This surprised me. "I heard about the texting," he continued, "and the public post thing, and I'm not proud of how she handled any of this, but she's still my kid, and she's in a bad place right now. She's staying with her sister, who's enabling all her worst behavior, and she's not listening to anyone. What do you want me to do about that, sir?" He sighed. "I don't know. I guess I'm hoping you two can work this out. You were good for her, stable, better than the guys she usually goes for. With respect, I'm not sure there's anything to work out. She publicly humiliated me, lied about her friendships, got caught, and has spent the last 2 weeks trying to make me the villain. I don't think that's the foundation for a healthy relationship." He nodded slowly. "I figured you'd say that. Can't say I blame you." He left after that. It was the most civil conversation I'd had with anyone in her family since this whole thing started. The actual end came last week. My girlfriend finally reached out to have what she called a mature conversation. She came over, we sat on the couch, and she tried one more time to salvage things. "I miss you," she said. "I miss us. I miss who I thought you were. I made mistakes. I know that now. But I really do love you, and I think we can get past this if we both try." "Here's my issue," I said. "You wanted the freedom to have whatever friendships you wanted, however close they were, without any questions from me. But the second I did something that made you uncomfortable, a completely innocent profile picture, you lost your mind. That's not a partnership. That's a dictatorship where only your feelings matter." I said I was sorry about the post. "You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. You're sorry I exposed your double standard publicly. You're sorry your yoga buddy's girlfriend found out what was happening. But you're not actually sorry for how you treated me." She started crying. "That's not true. I am sorry. I didn't think you'd react like this. You're always so calm and easygoing, I thought you'd just get over it." You thought I'd just accept being humiliated? I thought you'd fight for us. That's what this was. Me standing my ground and demanding equal standards in our relationship was me fighting for us. But I can't fight for something you don't want. You wanted permission to do whatever you wanted without consequences. When I asked for the same thing, it was unacceptable. She left that night and we haven't spoken since. 3 days later, she came by while I was at work and picked up her remaining things. I came home to a mostly empty closet and a note that said, "Thanks for nothing." I stared at that note for a while. 2 years, and that was the final communication. 3 words on a scrap of paper. No accountability, no real apology, just blame. She genuinely believed I had wronged her by demanding the same treatment she expected for herself. The apartment felt different after that. Emptier, obviously, but also lighter somehow. Her presence had been heavier than I realized. The constant management of her moods, the tiptoeing around topics that might set her off, the exhausting mental math of figuring out what I was allowed to feel versus what would be labeled insecure. I spent that first weekend alone, just existing. Watched what I wanted on TV, ate what I wanted for dinner. Left dishes in the sink overnight without anyone making a passive-aggressive comment. Small freedoms that added up to something that felt like relief. So where does that leave me? Honestly, I'm doing okay. The relationship is over, which is sad because 2 years is a long time and there were good times mixed in with all this mess. But I'm also relieved. The constant walking on eggshells, wondering if I was being too controlling for having basic relationship expectations, that's exhausting. Her best friend and I still text occasionally. She apologized for not warning me sooner about what she'd been hearing in those brunch conversations. Said she'd felt stuck between loyalty to her friend and doing the right thing. I told her I understood. My girlfriend has apparently been telling people we broke up because I couldn't handle her independence, which is a creative interpretation of events, but whatever. The people who matter know the truth, and the people who believe her version weren't really in my corner anyway. The profile picture is gone now. Took it down a few days after we officially ended things. It served its purpose. It exposed a double standard and forced a conversation that needed to happen. The relationship might not have survived that conversation, but it probably shouldn't have. A relationship built on rules for thee but not for me was never going to work long term. Her yoga guy, from what I hear, is still dealing with the fallout of his situation. His ex-girlfriend apparently compared notes with the other women he was just friends with, and they found a lot of overlap in his playbook. Some things have a way of working themselves out. As for me, I'm focusing on work, reconnecting with friends I'd kind of neglected while trying to keep my girlfriend happy and just living my life. Dating is not on my radar right now, maybe eventually, but first I need to trust my own judgment again. The weirdest part of all of this is how it ended so quietly after all that drama. No big blow-up, no screaming match, no thrown objects. Just a conversation where we both realized we wanted completely different things, and neither of us was willing to compromise. Some people probably think I took things too far with the profile picture stunt. Maybe they're right. But I also think sometimes you have to speak someone's language for them to hear you. I tried talking. She posted a public call-out. I responded in kind. She suddenly understood why someone might be upset about their partner's behavior with others. Her father was right about one thing. Her sister is enabling her worst instincts. Last I heard, she's still living there and still telling anyone who will listen that she's the victim of a narcissist. Some people never learn, and honestly, that's not my problem anymore. The hardest part of all this wasn't the breakup itself. It was realizing how long I'd been accepting behavior I shouldn't have. The late-night texting was just the final straw. There had been months of little things building up. Comments about how I was too available, and it wasn't attractive. Complaints that I didn't make her work for it anymore. The constant moving of goalposts where nothing I did was ever quite enough. I'd been so focused on not being controlling or jealous that I'd swung too far the other way and become someone who didn't advocate for himself at all. That profile picture moment? That was me finally pushing back. And yeah, it was petty. But sometimes petty is what it takes to stop being a pushover. The lesson, if there is one: standards only matter if they're applied equally. If you want freedom, you have to grant it too. And if you publicly shame your partner for having feelings, don't be shocked when they find a way to make their point just as publicly. Anyway, thanks for reading. Time to move forward.